Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
I love JT Miller. I love what he does. I love how he sets a tone for what is really important in winning, and that's about playing hard and competing. Last week against the San Jose Sharks, they were playing in Macklin Celebrini, and Macklin had an unbelievable game. But JT tested him. JT tested Macklin, and Macklin stood up to the challenge. And that's what JT's about. He's about saying, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to unsettle different opponents. I'm not afraid to match up against anybody in the league. And I think when you're a team and you have somebody that has that type of ability to change the tenor of a game, to push the game in your team's direction, it's a player that teams are looking for. And they're not only looking for that type of player to help them win. They're looking for that type of player to help them win when it's really, really hard. So 100% appreciate JT Miller.
Hey, Craig, there's two centers out there. One is Pavel Zacha. The Canucks love him. They'd like to get him, but we don't know if the Bruins are ready to move him. The other is Nazem Kadri. We don't know if the Flames are going to move him or maybe they keep him. We don't know. But those are the type of centers that I think Vancouver would like to get their hands on, Craig. What are your thoughts on those two guys?
Yeah, Naz is interesting. I mean, he's going into Toronto tonight, so, there's going to be all the attention on Naz, as there should be. I mean, I got asked the question, would he be a good fit in Montreal or Toronto? Yeah. If you're interested in winning, Naz is a fit anywhere. Like, he's a difference maker. He and Dustin Wolf have been the Flames' best players this year, and he can contribute offensively. Much how we just talked about JT Miller, Naz brings those same elements. So if he's got 3 years after this on a $7 million contract, but you're interested in winning, you go find a way to get Naz into your lineup. Pavel Zacha is interesting. Pavel, he plays left wing, he plays center. I don't see him as a center, Rick. I see him as a winger. Wow. I think he's better served on the wing. I don't think he's a distributor in the middle of the ice. I don't think he's got that ability to move the puck to better areas. I think he's a hard driving player. He's a straight line player, and I think he operates better off the wall. So he can be a face-off guy. I think he can be a good penalty killer playing in the middle of the ice. But in terms of 5-on-5 play and power play, I see him more as a winger and as a net player and a boards guy than as a natural 5-on-5 center.
Is Lucas Reichel going to help the Canucks, Craig?
Yeah, well, when you look at Luke, I think Lucas can help the Vancouver Canucks. Listen, you run into injury problems. You need offense. You look at where the Chicago Blackhawks find themselves. They find themselves in a spot where it's really difficult with all the young players they have in there. So he really couldn't find his footing. I mean, he's a first-round draft pick. I think the price that they paid to acquire Lucas Reichel is a risk well worth taking. In the couple of games I saw on the weekend, I thought he played really well. I thought he made some good plays. You hope he can get more of that, and maybe a change of scenery is something that will help Lucas, and certainly the Vancouver Canucks could benefit from a little bit more offensive punch.
Would you agree? You said you watched the games on the weekend that Elias Pettersson is playing improved hockey?
100%. I mean, and what have we been looking for? We've been looking for signs of that, right? That's what we're looking for from Elias. And certainly, I thought he was engaged. He was pushing. He was initiating. We know what his skills are. I don't need to see Elias handle the puck or shoot the puck. We know he has I need to see him initiate it. I need him to see him putting opponents on their heels and attacking and breaking them down. I saw lots of evidence of that on the game Saturday versus Montreal, and certainly versus the game against Edmonton on Sunday.
And Craig, I don't know if you heard Adam Foote post-game on Sunday, but he feels that Elias Pettersson's offensive game is helped when he has more responsibility defensively. He did a pretty good job of shutting down Connor McDavid on Sunday. Do you understand what Adam was saying?
100%, yeah. And I think that we talk about a player trying to get engaged, right? And that maybe not getting engaged, being more engaged. And so how do you get players engaged? You get them engaged in a matchup game. Okay, listen, you're up there against Connor McDavid. No player wants to, be on the video being taken advantage of. So that gets a player's attention. Penalty killing gets a player's attention. Elias has been a good two-way player. I mean, nobody's ever questioned his ability to play both ends of the rink. But I think to Adam Foote's description, getting him more engaged in different areas, it keeps him engaged in those other parts of the game that they need him for. I think that's a real positive. And certainly Elias responded. And that's all anybody's looking for. We know he has the talent. He knows he has the talent. He wants to try to show that the last 110 games, whatever they were not representative of what his abilities are. And if this is what Adam Foote has found, then just keep riding it, because if this is what you're going to get from Elias Pettersson by getting him more engaged in different areas of the game, just keep engaging him.
And one more quickly, Craig. We mentioned earlier we tried to get this question in before we had our technical difficulties. But you're in Seattle, Kraken versus the Habs. We talked a lot about the Habs last week as they came into Vancouver. But what about the Kraken, Craig, and their start? Would you agree everything looks positive down there?
Everything looks positive with respect to they're playing really good defense. Their offense is terrible. They do not have on. Jared McCann's out now, who's got ties to Vancouver, as you guys well know. And offensively, they don't have enough skill. That's the bottom line. And certainly defensively, Lane Lambert, I think, has done a terrific job. Doesn't surprise me one bit. He worked with Barry Trotz for years on Long Island, where they were a really good defensive outfit. So you just can't just go and inject offense because you say you want more offense. You need the players. But what you can do is get a really good system of team play, and that's exactly where the Seattle Kraken have found them. So the record is representative of good, solid defensive play, but they struggle to score. They really do. Their offense is certainly something they're going to be looking for. They got some young players with offense. They've tried to draft that, and they have, but they're still a little bit young and still a little bit not quite ready for prime time. But this is a team that under Lane Lambert, you see play really hard and really smart defensively. They stifled the Winnipeg Jets last Friday in Winnipeg, and they've done that to a few teams this year, and Montreal's got to be ready for that.
It took a while, Craig, but worth the wait as always. Thanks so much for this. Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah, well, I don't put up with you guys. I enjoy being with you. And, and Rick has put Adam Foote on notice. Bag skated a team on game day. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't believe it when he said it, but there's video evidence. Yeah. How about that?
But were they just skating back and forth, or were they skating hard?
Hard. Craig, hard. Yeah. Hard.
You sure it wasn't how you listen to podcasts 2 times the speed? Right?
You never know. Craig, thanks for this.
See ya.